silly, silly, silly old YouTube. So I'm gonna try to get you guys up a little higher, get you a better viewpoint, and then we'll start the other cameras up. I don't know why it tends to do this on me. Nobody knows, so just give me a second. Give me one hot second, and we'll get this thing fired up for us, all right? Over here. So you guys, you gotta tell me where you're watching from, of course. What time is it where you are right now in this beautiful world of ours? Let me know. Let me know. We're gonna get a little closer. There we go. Try to get rid of some of that glare on our canvas. Just a little touch. There we go. Perfection. Okay, let's fire this old bugger up. And then we'll see where we get going, everybody. Just like that. Hit the go live button, Joshy. Get this guy fired up. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good. Excellent, you guys. Welcome in to the show. It's the Paint with Josh experience. It's not really that crazy. We're gonna make something really beautifully awesome onto this canvas though. So it is gonna be an experience for your eyeballs, the Paint with Josh experience. Now, I'm gonna tell you everything I've done so far with my canvas that I have up here. It's a big 22-inch by 28-inch canvas. You can find them over at Michael's. I grabbed this one over there with like a couple more of them because I didn't want to just get one, you know me. So you can find them over there. And then what I did was I covered it in our black gesso, not just acrylic black paint. Black gesso. It's much more watery than acrylic black paint, so it gets onto the canvas and covers a lot better. All right, so we got those guys over there and over here, and you guys are gonna tell me where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Tell me the time. It's over here for me. It's like 5:02, something like that. What time is it where you're watching? Is the question I want you to answer. Now, after I covered my canvas with our Liquitex black gesso and I let it dry, because the acrylic dries in like 10 minutes, right? Then we covered the whole canvas with our Bob Ross liquid clear. It's very much like linseed oil. And then once that was all wet, I wiped off the excess with a paper towel, so it's still shiny and wet. And then we added our Indian yellow up into here and then crimson over the top of it. So it shouldn't be yellow, it should be like an orangey bit. Right? Then a bit of our phthalo blue, a bit of our ultramarine violet or dioxazine purple around the top. And then down into here, I did my crimson bit, then our blue slash purple, a little bit of a phthalo green, more crimson, phthalo green underneath, blue underneath, and then crimson and purple along the whole bottom. So everywhere that our canvas has, it's got some form of color on it is all we need, just a little bit of color. Now, I don't want to have too much paint onto my brush, so we're going to wipe off the excess paint down here onto the palette. And then I'm going to come up in here, and let's just decide, pow, just right there. That's going to be gorgeous. Just make a little X shape or a little misshapen thing. It doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't have to look like a certain thing. We just want it kind of up there. And then I'm going to push on it with a lot of pressure. If I push on it with a lot of pressure, it'll sort of blend away into something a little softer. A little softer up there is all we want it to be. That way we can come in with our little filbert brush and make a moon back there. Remember guys, this painting is available. I'm going to say it a lot. It's available over on paintwithjosh.com until it is no longer. If somebody goes over and gets it, then I won't say it's available anymore. So I'm going to go up into my bright section. I'm going to take my brush, just going to push it in, and then make a little circle, just twisting the bristles, keeping it in the dead center. Trying not to let it grow too dang big. Pull your brush away. Bang! Got your little moon, or maybe a very, very, very far away sun, depending on how you're painting your painting. Each time you do it, you can do it a little differently. Now, let's start getting crazy with these clouds, okay? I don't even want to use much more than the paint that I already used, because I didn't use all of it. You can see how the brush has a little bit of white in there in the center, and on this side it's got a lot more white. As we get closer to us, even in the clouds, it should become brighter. So, let's say, what if we came down in here with that last little bit of excess white, and we just pop something over there. Who knows? Just a little bit of a mess. Okay? Because it has the crimson-y color underneath, it'll start to darken and change. Right? Now, the more that we push on this, the more it's going to change and mix in with the darker colors underneath. The more that you massage it, the more it's going to disappear, right? We don't necessarily want it to disappear on us. So we don't want to put a whole lot out there and then have it go and get all disappeared and gone, right? All up to you guys. Every time that you paint it is another chance to paint it a little bit differently, right? Now, let's get over here. I'm gonna grab, let's see. I'm gonna grab the Paint with Josh fan brush. I'm gonna go through our paints, right? And wherever we interact into this new bit of color, it's gonna change. Now, what's gonna happen if I take my bit of my white paint up here, right? Lots of it, well, enough of it anyway, to keep the bristles from spreading apart, just like that. Now, if I take this white paint and I put it right up on top of that other white paint and blend it down, it's going to be very much the same, right? So let's say, what if, in fact, it was coming down like this, just this nuts, crazy old thing, dropping into and around, maybe up into the color, but not letting them connect. Leave a space, okay? Now, out here at the bottom of our cloud, because we know that's not a lot of paint, if I start to grab it and mix it, it's going to mix away very quickly. Right, so about the underneath, we've got to add a little touch of something that our brush can grip onto and then pull outwards, right? If we don't have enough to make it across our entire canvas, let's go get some more paint. Wrap this guy up and around, and maybe he's off over here. Just into the night. Right, now there's a lot of space down here. If the bottom of my cloud is going to be here, that's not going to be enough paint to drag down. So what if we add a little bit more, and a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more over there? And then by the time our brush grabs it, it'll be easy for us to move that bit of paint around. All right, let's say we come up here. We start to push, mush, and that paint's gonna start to grow, and we're gonna leave little gaps in between our clouds because it makes them look more realistic. If you just have an all white cloud, it's too white, it's too bright. Right? Take it and let it mix down with those colors. How do you want it to look? Because each time that we do it, we can push a little harder, or we can put some more paint up there, or whatever, to get it to look how we want it to look, right? Like say it's not bright enough in here. That's okay. It's all right. What if we grabbed a little bit of excess paint and just mushed it in over here, right? Having enough for it to be able to move. If there's not enough for it up there, it's not gonna grow and move on us. We gotta push a little harder with these Paint with Josh brushes. When you first get them, they're not Bob Ross brushes. You have to bend them a little bit more to get that paint to slide around and blend away. Look at that, guys. That's really cool. Right? The more you do, the more craziness you're going to have. Let's put a little pop-up right into there. And then again, just mix it down and away. Right? The more that we do, the more easy these things become. Okay? Now, what if... Ooh, that's looking really cool. We may need one more cloud down here around the base. Let's get a good amount of paint, right? We want a lot this time. That way, especially if you're using your Paint with Josh brushes, they're not very thick and very thin, right? Now let's come down. If I know I'm gonna have something here, let's pop something back there, just a little bit, right? And then we're gonna continue on spinning and mushing, rotating our brush, and just literally trying to make a mess of it underneath the cloud, right? Bang, come up here and pick some of that up and drag it down. Right? If you go up, make sure there's something down around the bottom for you to grab onto. And we may not even have gone high enough up. Let's get up a little closer, maybe over here, push a little bit more, right? The more paint that you have up there, the more easily it's going to grow. The less paint that you have up there, the more you're gonna have to push on it. And if you're pushing and mushing real hard, some of the times you might overblend some of those colors. You can see how we're not really staying in one place for too long either. Kind of grabbing it and then jumping to a new spot, and then jumping back, jumping over here, jumping back over there, coming over here and over there. It's a calculated mess, right? We know what we want our basic shape to look like. We know the clouds are going to grow down and they're going to mix in and have all of our little differences. And we know we don't want them to all look the same, so we can't stay in one place and work it for too long. Otherwise, it's all going to be the same, right? And we don't want that. Now we got a really cool looking little sky up there, full of color and all sorts of such. All sorts of such, you guys. Now, we are also streaming this to YouTube, so wherever you're watching from, you can re-watch it again over on YouTube and learn how to paint it all the way from the beginning. Remember, guys, over on Instagram, this is what we do for a living. We sell our work while we're doing the live shows. So, if you like it enough, you can head over to paintwithjosh.com and grab it before anyone else has the opportunity. You've got to be the first one to get there. Right? Now, let's say if we wanted a little flat bottom to our clouds, push harder, massage that paint in so it becomes flatter at the bottom. Right? Maybe we want the smallest little rainstorm just right there. Pulling down with our white paint, a little bit on the brush. You pull it down a little ways. Right? You can have these cool little things happen from back there. You can make it a little bit brighter, a little bit taller, just add a little bit more paint to our brush. Very lightly streaking through. Don't want to have too much. You have too much and never be able to take it away. It says it right there on the Paint with Josh brush box. Now we got this little rainstorm kind of sitting at the bottom of our clouds, especially if we take this guy, just mix it up a bit, right? Just enough. You have this little falling out the base. Looking really cool, you guys. I like that. Okay, now we may end up getting rid of that or losing it or whatever, but we can decide as we go what it's gonna look like, right? Now let's grab the brand new Paint with Josh palette knife, which is over here. And if you guys haven't seen the brand new Paint with Josh brush set yet, oh boy, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's literally the most fantastic brush set you'll ever see. And I just took the palette knife out on the top. Someone said, where's your liner brush? I don't see your liner brush in there. He's in there. He's just got a really small little space to hide in. So, yeah. Let's mix up some colors, and remember, if you want to grab this one, go to paintwithjosh.com. You can get it, and for all you people over on TikTok, if TikTok does in fact go away, I just made a new Clapper account. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and Threads and everywhere that you'll still be able to find me doing the live shows and all that stuff. I pray that it does not happen because I've got such a large audience on TikTok, and it's such an interactive platform. Like everyone's like, oh, well, just go stream somewhere else. Well, the viewership isn't like it is, right? At TikTok, there's always more viewers. They're more talkative. They're more, and it's the same people. They all have Instagram. They all have, but on TikTok, for whatever reason, it's just more engagement. And that's what you need if you're a small business like me. You need to reach as many potential customers as possible. And so, if I'm just so scared if they take that away, I don't know what I'm gonna do, you guys. But in the meantime, since we still got you here, let's grab some of our Paint with Josh, our Midnight Black from Bob Ross, a little bit of our crimson, a little bit of our blue, that Phthalo blue or Prussian blue, whatever you got. I just opened up my brand new Phthalo blue tube today. This is brand new, fresh paint, first time ever used out of the tube, which means you know it's going to be fantastic. We're going to mix down all those three colors until they are but one color. We don't need them to show all three different colors. We want them to be nasty and dark, right? Then we can wipe off our knife so it's nice and clean. Paint with Josh and Craft Ammo, the palette knife for all palette knives. It's really sharp too, so be careful. Now we got to decide how far up do you want to go with this mountain. You want to be way up here with your mountain peak and then hide all the rest of those little clouds? Or do you want to come up into here? Where do you want to be? Because you don't have to go as crazy or as tall as old Paint with Josh, but I'm gonna go nuts. Right? This is a big old canvas. Let's just get up into here and just pow, just right up into those clouds with that darkness, scraping it up, right? So it doesn't grow too far. And I know, you guys, it's hard to see until we get down into that little cloudy area. And that white from our clouds is going to help not only project the clouds backwards, but also take our mountain and push it further away, okay? Now, let's take our mountain out here. We know that all the mountain can't just go down one way, right? So we're gonna grab it up, and we're gonna decide as we're sliding it down. So we may end up losing our rainstorm, or guys, let's not lose our rainstorm. Let's not pull it down past our clouds. Right? This guy is a very sheer cliff because there's not a lot of room right there, all the way up to half of the peak, right? So by the time we pull down and turn, these guys will slide meet up with their other little buddy, and then just disappear into those clouds down there. Shoo, guys, that's a cool looking one already, okay? Now, let's grab this guy. Drag him off this way. Boom, boom. See how the paint, it eventually will not go anymore, right? It just disappears because it's so thick. It doesn't want to drag that well, right? So, drag it down into that mist, and now all of a sudden it looks like we've got a little cloud, or a kind of cloud around the base of our mountain, or a mountain in the clouds. Now, let's go highlight this guy, right? Let's get up here, grab a bit of our white, get a little bit of our phthalo blue, just a little touch, and mix it up down here. We want it to look like a sky blue color. So if it's not sky blue, if it's too dark, right, or too bright, you gotta either get more paint or get more white. And I want to take a little touch of this black mix, a little bit more. Blend it down in there so it's kind of a bluish gray. With all those different streaks, we're gonna have lots of different shadows play out on our mountain back here, right? Then we need to take about twice the amount of white that we grabbed and one little touch of the blue that we made, not our blue from up here, otherwise we're going to end up with the same color. But if we get that very, very, very bright blue and add tons of white to it, then it'll become a very, very, very bright whitish blue color. And that'll be our snow shadows, or snow highlights versus our snow shadows, okay? Now we're going to again get out here, and if you don't flip the paint with Josh Palette knife, it doesn't work. So you got to give it a flip. You want to put paint on it first? Ooh, it might change it. Oh, hey, give it a little flip. It's right there. Hold on. Whoop. There we go, guys. All right, so we're going to pick up our shadowy paint first. I'm going to mush it out flat. I'm going to cut across it so it removes a section of paint onto the knife. Then, because my little moon is over here, I'm going to take it and touch it onto the left side of the peak and let it whip down with some speed. Speed is crucial, right? Your pressure is one thing. But if you're not going fast enough, you're not going to be able to get those breaky bits as they're breaking off and falling down the mountain. Mount Doom that's been frozen, you guys. Look at that. Right? The more we creep over, the more we get more horizontal with our little shadowy area. And you can make a ridge. Right? Do you want to extend that ridge and have it fall down here? Totally up to you guys what you want it to do. But isn't that gorgeous? Let's take a little touch of our blue and just kind of sneak it down the back side of that little guy too. Just a little place, right? Not everywhere on our bright or high lit side is going to have perfect bright shadows. You gotta have some or perfect bright highlights. You gotta have some shadows in there somewhere. Same thing, we're gonna come through, literally scraping up, removing a bit of the white onto our brush. And let's get up here into this crazy guy, just very flat against the canvas, very flat, right? And very light-handed. We don't want too much pressure on this guy, right? Very flat. See my hand? It's not out here. I'm not like this against the canvas. I'm not like this against the canvas, right? I'm straight up and down against the canvas most of the time, getting my fingers dirty because of how close we have to be to then create that drag. When it drags down like that, guys, all right, let's say on the opposite, say we had our bright and then our little blue side, bright, little blue, so we're gonna have a little bright on that edge, maybe a little touch, but leaving some spaces in between. Then off the front side, where does it go, right? All up to us, what happens back there. Every time that we do it, you can do it a bit differently, you guys, each time. Oh, baby, look at that. That's a cool looking mountain, right? Now remember, our mountain came down like this and then we sloped down. So if we've come down straight, let's connect onto that guy. Slope down. We'll meet up with these little guys over here. Just have a little powwow in the night, you guys. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. You can even go down lower if you wanted to with more highlight bits, guys. I know that we shouldn't. We should stop right now if we want to save our oceany seascape below. But just because it starts looking so good, right? You go back up into that shadowy side and create a little ridge, right? If you go up into your shadowy side with light, you've got to go off the back of that light with more shadows, right? Creating more depth towards us. Doesn't need to be so big. And we're going to take and mess up all that stuff down around the base anyway. But just like that, you guys, we'll come back in with our 2-inch brush. The old 2-incher, right? Come in here just very lightly and grazing along in the opposite way that we came down. Right? So if we came down this way, then we got to go up that way with the brisk, just grazing it again. Not trying to drag the paint, not trying to do anything. Just graze it a little. Softly, softly, right? Even after going over it, you can still see we haven't brushed it, we haven't moved anything. There's no change, but the difference in its very little bit of texture, right? And that soft little flick will help the mountain dry even faster than you would think. some of these guys and fill in that white section. There's too many little bits. And you can also flatten out into your shadowy area just to help change what the mountain looks like. Grab one of these little guys right at the bottom of it and go whip him off the other edge. Makes it look more round. Right? Little things you can do every time that you go to do it. You do it a bit different, guys. Just a little differently. Right? More little details that you add in, the more little things you're going to have. And fill up this whole guy too. Boom, 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 boom. How far do you want that brightness to extend outward? Right? Now, same thing since I've added some more paint. I'm going to go back and soften it down a little bit, each side. And then we'll go from that real soft touch to that extreme pressure, right? We're kind of dabbing it out and creating partly this cloud over here. Now, since we've been dabbing out our brush in this one direction like this, because we've been on the one side of the mountain, should we continue to dab our brush in that direction on the other side of the mountain, or do you think we should rotate? Do you think we should spin around? Interview Josh, that'd be cool. Send Jordan? Where's Jordan? Oh, it's looking so good already, you guys. So good. Thank you, everybody over there on Instagram for watching and hanging out. Thank you, Blow Dryer. Let's see. What was that? Flip it and reverse it. So the brushes are going to be $99, I believe. That's what they told me a while back, that they would be $99 for the first week. Now, I'm expecting, I'm hoping, I'm praying that they're going to be gone within the first couple days, and you won't even be able to wait a week to get them. Just like that guy's got a soft little mountain out there in the night. So, I believe the plan, okay? If you haven't heard the plan yet, this is the plan according to the manufacturer. I don't think they know how awesome my followers are, and that if they made the brushes available right now, you guys would all go get them instantly, right? I told them to make them available on midnight of the 23rd, so right when it rolls over to the 24th. They don't like that idea. They want to release the brushes while we do a live show, which could be really fun, right? As soon as the show, we get on, we go live, and then I'll give you guys a coupon code, like Josh5 is going to be the coupon code, all caps with the number 5, so JOSH, number 5, and that'll get you an extra 10%, extra 5% off while the live is going. So if you want to wait, they're all going to get released at the live show, apparently, at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time when I normally do my shows. That's when they'll go live, and then we can kind of watch as a ticker as the the brushes sell, and then I believe they want to do a giveaway or something to a random person that gets the brushes during the live show. That's the plan. I'm pretty sure, pretty sure, but we don't know exactly, but we're pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Almost positive. So I hope that's helpful. I know you guys have been waiting. I've been waiting for more than a year to get these brushes. I'm going to connect on with this cloud iron just like this. Just a little bit of my white. Roll it down. Underneath. Right? Over here into the mist. And we're going to need a little bit more paint because it's tending to disappear. Right? We need to go up above our horizon and attach it onto the clouds back there. All up to you every time you guys do it. Gives you a chance to do it a different way, right? Remember, we don't want too much, but we got to make a little cloud out of the bottom of our mountain guy down here. All right, so let's get in and let's start mixing it up just very lightly. The more we mix it, the more it's going to blend in. We don't want it to all look the same. We don't want to grab too much of our snowy highlights either, right? And if we wanted to get it up a little closer, we could get it right up into there, almost touching that bit of snow. That's going to help you when you come back to mix this guy down to not get too much of a gap in between, right? Because the mist is only sitting at the base of our little highlights. If we put it too far down, it's going to look funky. If we put it too far up, we're going to be up into our snow, right? So we got to decide and then mix it out, push it down. Now you got this floating mountain out there in your clouds, man. Oh, that's rad. How do you want it to look? Because that's the main goal, right? What is the painting going to look like when you do it? Because I won't be there. Nobody that's in the comments will be there. It's just going to be you watching me on video paint the painting. and you're going to paint it as well, right? So I'm not going to be there and be like, oh, don't do that, do this. You can create it however you want to do it. That is the most fun about the whole technique, is that everybody's can be different. We can all use the same colors. We can all use the same tutorial video or whatever and come out with different results. That's the best part about art, to me. Just to me. Because if there was only going to be one artist ever, it's just going to be me, and that's it. That's fine. Everybody just watch. It's cool. But no, everybody wants to give their have a shot at it, right? Give their old hand a try. And we encourage that. Absolutely. But I say, I never want you to think that it has to be exactly the same as mine or you failed. No, 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 right? We want you to change. We want you to see something different and go, ooh, when I did my mountain, it came down a bit further, and then I did this, and then my whole painting was different. You know what I mean? I'll be able to tell what video you watched just by the way that you do the clouds. Honestly, I will. I will, honestly. So, let's see where you guys are from. Check in. Let me know where you're watching from. What time is it where you are right now? Oh, there's so many like blues and pinks and purpley bits in there. That's fabulous. Just fabulous. Let's see. Uncle Jimmy says, just calm down and trust the process. I bought one of Josh's paintings before he even finished the sky. It's beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate you, Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy. Let's see. Yes, I did teach myself how to paint by watching Bob Ross videos. And thank you, Heather. Bob was actually my grandpa's cousin, believe it or not. Can you believe that? That Bob Ross was my grandpa's cousin. We got Utah, we got Canada, Arizona, Mount St. Helens. My goodness, be careful. So, South Dakota, Florida, Virginia, 25 hours. Guys, it's only 5:26 and we've been painting for 26 minutes and we already got half a painting finished. Can you believe it? I'm jealous, yeah. Thank you. Washington State, got everybody watching from everywhere. Guys over on YouTube though, remember if you're watching, just all you gotta do is click that thumbs up button just one time. You have no idea how much it helps bring more viewers in and everything. It just helps. So just give me that one thumbs up if you've liked anything I've done at any point so far throughout this painting show. Just give me that thumbs up out there. That's all I ask. Just one little thumbs up. And then whether or not you want to stay or whether or not you leave and go watch something else, at least you would have helped me out by doing that, right? Now, oh, you guys, I had thought about maybe doing like a mountain and then an ocean scene underneath. And with these colors, it's going to be beautiful. But now, because of the way it looks, I'm like, should I change what we want to do? Put some trees back in here, or this or that. Just, ooh. It's a dilemma. It's always the dilemma when you go to paint, right? What do you want it to look like? And you can always change and do something different. So, let's see. Absolutely. Be sure to follow me on Clapper, you guys. If any of you guys are on Clapper, I'm over there, Paint with Josh, over there on Clapper. I believe an ocean scene would be nice as well. I attempted an Aurora Borealis in pink and purple forest, landscape in the snow. My niece claimed it on black canvas. Thanks, man. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, CLA PPR, just like the turn off your lights. The Clapper. Just follow me over there. I've got like 4 followers over there. But it's very much like TikTok. So if you're worried about TikTok disappearing, let's go to Clapper because it's the same setup. The same exact thing. Same way you post the videos. Same thing. So let's head over there. Everybody go follow me over on Clapper, man. All right, let's come in with a little seascape. Now, when I say little, right, let me just show you with a tape measure here, okay? A little seascape. This is a 28-inch canvas. Excuse me, a 30-inch canvas. What the hell? This is supposed to be a 22 by 28. Oh, I grabbed the wrong canvas. This is actually a 24 by 30. No wonder it was a little bit bigger than expected. Silly buns. Oh, you silly Billy. Well, it's a 24 by 30. So, but in any case, right, we've got about 13 inches from the top to the bottom of our canvas. I know that even if I was just to let loose and paint away, I could paint the wave this dang big if I wanted to, and then smash it down onto the sand and blah, right? However you want to do it. Or we can paint the waves this big and save a lot of room for sandy, watery lines, right? All depends on how close do you want to be to your ocean. You want to be far away and see all of it? Or do you want to be up close and just see a little? All depends on you guys every time you do it. Now, because we have our colors out here on our canvas, when we just go across with some titanium white, it will start to ignite those colors. All right, and we don't want a whole lot of paint. I'm just kind of jiggling it just to make a soft little line back there in the night. Don't even have to go all the way across. Let's drop down a little bit, start the same height, and then drop down underneath. Maybe we roll up, maybe we roll down, we roll up, we roll down, just a little wavelength or something, just so it's different and it's not a straight line. Then we're going to attach onto that paint and drag it upward, not upwards, but work it up from side to side, getting higher and higher and higher, then drop down, fill in those little spots underneath. Right? The more differences that we have out here, meaning the darkness, right? We don't want to put on too much paint. If we put on too much paint, we're not going to be able to tell the difference between the levels of the ocean, okay? That first line way back there, furthest away. Then we've got this little dark separator underneath it, right? This dark line. Then we have our next bit of ocean. What are we going to do underneath this guy? We're going to put a little dark separator, a little line. So we're going to grab up a small little bit, and let's just say, let's do one little guy, right? So we're going to, again, same height, so we're just going over, just kind of going out here, and then we're going to drop down so we miss it. Up there, zip. Ooh, that was a big old one, right? How far do you want it to go? Totally up to you. How do you want your wave shape to look? Totally up to you. Where do you want it to fall over or get smaller or disappear? Again, that's up to me. No, I'm just kidding. It's totally up to you. It's up to you guys out there in the night, right? Now, what are we going to do to make these two things connect like we did with that guy? How are we going to do it? You guys got to tell me. If you don't tell me, this painting's sold, baby. Woo! Woo! Hey! Ho! Let's go, baby. Who got this one? Who got it? I'm going to have to go pull it up on my computer. Hey! Remember, guys, over on Instagram, tap the screen, share the live, do all the stuff you got to do. You can send me those little bonus things or whatever they are. I don't know. Badges, I guess. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they are on Instagram. But come over here. I mean, maybe if I ask who got the painting, I should actually stay to check around and see who got it. Anybody? Anybody fessing up to it? No? You guys aren't going to fess up? Woo! Woo! So this is oils, right? We're going to come back in here, and it's the wet on wet technique, meaning that our canvas is already wet, and it has wet oil paints underneath, which is why we can come back with just white and have it go blue, right? Same thing over here. Very horizontal. Now watch this. Long, 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 dropping down, dropping down, dropping down, right? The more that we go in that horizontal angle, the more easy it's going to be to make our water flatter, okay? We're not going to have all these crashers everywhere. Eventually, it has to flatten out at some point. So again, just pulling to the side. I'm not going up. I'm not going down. I'm going straight the heck across. Straight across. Straight across. We're going to get a little bit of this guy. Again, straight as you can be anyway. Across. Okay? If we want to go change that up, let's put a little bit more paint. Again, straight across. If we dip down, we're still horizontal on our angles. The closer you get to that back bit of water back there, the smaller the waves will look. If you leave a really giant dark separator, the thing's going to look immensely humongous. We don't need that. We don't want it to look overly big. And again, just white paint, dragging it out to the side. Right? And we filled in that whole bit of ocean. And it's gone from way the heck back there all the way up here to us, just with some horizontal lines, you guys. Seriously, man. Now, let's get out here. Did anybody claim this painting so far? Who got it? Anybody? Do I have to go look on my computer? Because I'll come over here and look. Don't test me. Don't you test me over there. Mackie Doodles! Mac got this one, you guys. You sneak. You sneak. A Sasquatch just used my debit card. Oh, Mac Squatch, you're the best. You are the man, my man. Now, let's get in here. We're going to use our Paint with Josh fan brush. Very small little guy. I may just put a big old rock right here, maybe one over there. We'll see how it goes by the time we get done. Now, as we wave over each time, when it dips is where you need to throw your water, meaning the eye needs to be to the right of your big dip. Your big dipper. Make it a little swimmer shape, right? Kind of, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I mean, man. Now we're going to get in here with our 1-inch brush, holding it horizontally and just very lightly, trying to get it as close as we can. Just getting up there, kind of pushing it. Get it real close. Just vertically like that even, just little bits. We don't need it to be too bright. We don't want it to get too big. This, that, and all the rest. Now, I come in here with my Paint with Josh fan brush again, because these are the bestest fan brushes you're ever gonna see. Very lightly, kind of pull down a little bit. And we're gonna get more and more and more pulls and change our angle to go more and more and more horizontal. Right? You see how it's not all the same angle of water? These guys are very lightly flicking over, almost vertically. Right? And then the more we go, the more they change into more horizontal deals. Yeah? Just up and over, baby, up and over. Filling in the back area just a little bit with the smallest little dark separator in between. Right? And then you have your back ocean area, and you got your wave crashing over the side. Now remember, these are just little baby guys. They don't need to be too big. So don't make them too big. Come back in here, literally getting lower and lower and lower and lower. You can see how our water is going to play out already without it even having any paint on it, right? Just from doing them as many times as we've done them. We've done them lots of times, you guys. Now, let's try to make a double crasher wave. And if it doesn't work, then we can toss a big rock in there, right? But if it does work, it's going to look really cool. So remember, as it dips down, that's where it's crashing. So this guy would be dipping down and crashing over there, meaning our eye of our wave would be over here. We're going to let it get like a swimmer. You ladies know what I'm talking about. Over there. Try to get as close as possible. Come up with the 1-inch brush again, very flat to the canvas like this, and push it up. Push it up. Boom. Get it a little bit closer to the top, and leave that little darkness in between, because it doesn't always have to be so bright. We got a little double crasher wave about to happen right here. Now, the space in between is where we're going to have our other little thing. Now, this one doesn't have to be so much the same, right? Even these guys, they're like very and then the more we go, the more they're changing, dropping out, and changing angles, and getting brighter, and this, that, and the other. Just a little bit of light on the top. Very cool. Every time we do one, it's another opportunity to do a little bit differently, do a little bit better, right? So we get off on this guy, a little bit of our white off the top edge, and we know we just got to be real small at first, right? And these ones are basically straight down towards the canvas, and then as we go out, get a little bit longer and longer and longer. Maybe they're going to start to hang over the edge a little bit more. And they're going to start getting a little bit thinner as well, right? Again, not everything has to be falling at the same rate of speed or anything else. The more round that you make it, the more it makes it look like it's falling straight down. The more that you toss it out, the more it looks like it's got some pressure. It's casting out that way, right? Now we're going to take that same paintbrush right through here. The white is all we care about. If it gets a little diluted, that's okay. The whole painting is going to get diluted by the time we get done. All right? Drop down a little bit. We're going to extend these guys. We're basically just piping in just some straight lines back and forth like this, right? However you want it to be. Just piping in some straight lines. Look at those different colors. The purplish, pinkish mauve into the green. Woo! The phthalo green back in there. Right? Now the brighter that the more paint that we add, the brighter it's going to be. And you can see I want these long horizontal streaks because they're a guideline for us, right? We don't just want to go straight up into the wave. We want to roll back and then roll up. Roll back and then roll up. Roll back and then roll up, right? Again, the more that we add, the brighter it's going to be. So we're deciding, and then as we get in here, we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Oh, it's so small back there, you guys. Look at that, dudes. I can hear the waves crashing down, you guys. Boom! Holy shaving cream. And again, very light amounts of paint. The Paint with Josh brush box is coming out along with the brush kit. Not just the box, you get the kit as well. Right? But the box has my favorite quote in it. Does anybody know what my favorite quote might be? The more we get out here, see how we're getting flatter and longer and flatter and longer, longer and flatter and longer and flatter? Because these guys kind of have to match up. And then they get a little bit steeper as they start to climb. And that's going to help our brains see that this water is now becoming flatter and flatter and flatter out here. And then becoming flatter and flatter and flatter down here as well. Until it all lines up perfectly, guys. Woo! Woo! That is a cool. We can take and soften it down, stretching out those colors towards the sand. Right? Pushing on it a little harder. Depends on how much you want it to change, right? And you can show it rolling up and dipping down. Now, it looks like it still has a lip right there because the brightness is not on the front. Right, now we can get a little darker, a little darker, a little darker as we feed our way back because we're going to be catching that shadow there pretty soon. Pretty soon, guys. And you can see they're very horizontal streaks. Almost like if we were to go up like this, zip, and then off the back like a little lip of a wave. Just like that. You got to do them horizontal. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you forever. Just like so. You can take these guys very lightly. Streak! Just a couple little bits. Oh, baby, that's cool. That's a cool one. Now, let's decide. Again, we're going to take our little fan brush. And we're going to decide what we want our beach to look like. Right? So at this point, we're kind of streaking out. And I know if I just keep bringing my brush and I just keep moving the same thing, I'm just going to keep going down in that line. But what if we brought out a little bit? Right there. Right? We drew it down and we came out down here. Right, try to get backwards, and maybe it was over here. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, kind of flowing down on that same line, except we're extending our bits of color every so often. That's all we're doing. And flowing up, that very fine little gradient up the side of our little guy. Okay, now I think we're just about ready. We can start putting on our highlights with our palette knife and stuff. Okay, very soft little things. Further away, closer to us, more crashing, more flat. Okay, telling you for a reason, you guys. Moving it down and down and down, almost like it goes to a little triangle down there at the bottom. Bring that guy out a little bit. Right, the more it comes down closer to us, the crazier it's going to be. Now, let's get in here with our liquid white and our titanium white. And get a little bit of our both, a little mixaging of both. And then, I want to make sure we got enough liquid white to make it look runny. That's the key. Right? We'll come in here. Right underneath my moon is where I want it to be brightest. That means I got to have the most amount of paint right down in there. And you can see, I don't care what it looks like. I want it to be messy, right? We need some excess paint to be able to grip onto with our brush. So no matter what, just get some of it up there, okay? Maybe this guy. Pop a little back in here, not too much because we know it doesn't want to grow too much right there before meeting our last little section. And pop some of it in up here too. Just so we've got that wetness, right? Now comes the fun part. As I'm about to turn it into sand, but I need you to tell me whether or not you think it looks like sand, okay? Start over here. Drag it straight down, straight down, straight down. Lots of pressure, lots of reps, lots of times. Lots and lots and lots and lots to get it to drag all the way. It wouldn't drag all the way to the bottom the first time. You saw it. You saw that it did not go down there, right? We'll go to these guys, but not let them touch. So we just put on a little bit, and then we can streak it down. Lots of pressure, lots of repetitions, lots of it. Pulling them down, right? Now, does that look like sand? Yes or no? Just be honest. You can be honest with me. You could say no if you don't think it does. That's fine. You're only going to break my little heart into a million pieces, but it's fine. I mean, whatever you want to do. Just sneak it into that side a little bit. Almost pulling and dragging through our whole little section, which we can go back and fix, right? But doesn't that look like sand? Be honest. I want you to be honest with me, right? No fibs around here. Let's see. Heather says no. Good. I agree. I agree. No, no, no. It looks like a waterfall. Looks like an aurora borealis to me. If you're asking old Paint with Josh, looks like an aurora. Just an upside down one, right? Now, in order to make it look like sand, we have to pull it horizontally. Right? If we drag all these streaks, and our vertical streaks, and turn them into horizontal streaks, start looking more and more and more like wet, sandy beach. Right? The more you mix it up. Now, we don't want our color to go all the way across. We need a dark spot, at least, or a dark section down around the bottom. But then that look a lot more like sandy beach now, with all that stuff. And if it's not bright enough in certain areas, let's go back and brighten it up. Streak it across. Just get rid of those vertical streaks. Turn them into horizontal streaks. Right? Maybe we're missing some bright area down in here. And it doesn't even all have to be exactly the same either. Right? How far do you want yours to go down? How much brightness, right? We can always go back and add in some more. How bright do you want it to be everywhere? Because again, it's up to you each time you go to do it. Look at that though. Woo! Look at that sand. Guys, gals, painting pals. That's amazing if you're asking old Paint with Josh. Right? Putting it on vertically, swiping it out horizontally, and all of a sudden, you've got a little bit. A little thing, right? But we've kept a bit of darkness in between. Very fine little bit of darkness. But there is some there. You don't want to get rid of that. Okay? It's very helpful to have that dark line in between, kind of separating, splitting up your two colors, right? Very helpful. You ever have more than one kid? Sometimes you got to separate them. Very helpful to be like, you here, you there. Boom. No contact, right? Boom. Now we're going to get a little bit more of our liquid white and our titanium white. And we need to drag this color down on top of that a little bit more, right? While also adding our highlights. So we're going to scrape across wherever our color is, right? And you'll start to notice a little ridge of water at the end, a little ridge of that white paint anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Where do you want yours to be? Right? How bright do you want them to be? We've got to get our colors down and out and down and back, right? Again, each time you do it a little different. You are in control. You decide what you want it to be, right? Now back here, it's much too big of a separation. So we really need to bring it down and then backfill all the rest of that stuff. And so there's only a small little bit, a small little tiny shadow of darkness underneath our little guy. It comes out, extends out a little bit, or whatever, right? But we just want a little bit of dark underneath him. And if there's not, you gotta make sure you go back and put that sucker in there, because you're gonna want it. A couple little bits of our diamonds off the back. Just kind of pushing our knife, letting it drag some of those bits of our thicker paint, and just weaving them and bobbing and weaving and wherever we want them to be. The ocean is a very messy place, so don't let it scare you about how your water should look, right? It's going to look different and odd, and every time we do it, it's going to change a little bit. Came down like this guy. We're launching our water in almost upside down, right? If we launch it in at that upward angle, it's going to look like it's climbing up a wave over here. If you're just doing it horizontally, it's going to look a lot flatter, but we need something that feeds from the front and feeds back into darkness, right? So it doesn't all have to be the same. It doesn't all have to be in the same place or the same area or connect or whatever. It's all up to us. We just need it to kind of be in the front, and then every so often we're just dragging back a couple little things that have these little diamonds on them. Just excellent. Little guys that are flying up our water, right? If we make it all high lit, that means there's going to be nothing dark or no darker water in our guy, right? And you can keep adding and adding and adding and adding and adding. It's all up to you guys how you want it to look, how you want it to be, right? I never want it to be too bright because all we're really noticing are these bits of foam on top of our dark colored water, right? So let's say if there was a couple little guys up here, maybe one of them very, very lightly started to streak down that way, right? Little thing. Oh, we don't even want them to connect all the way. Little trees in the woods out there. Woo! Woo! Okay, now, further away we are, the less little details we gotta see. But isn't that amazing? Look at that. Just by not doing too much, right? If we do too much, we're gonna ruin it for our own selves. If we don't do too much, then we're gonna be happier with ourselves for not ruining it. Right? We decide each time. Then you can always go back very lightly. I'm talking about so lightly, all the way from the edge of the canvas. You know, we're dragging these little marks all the way across it. That's okay. We can get rid of those guys if we take them from the edge, right? Because all these right here, you just take them and mix, pull them back down. Boom, 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 boom. Pull them horizontal, and they go away. You get your cool little bit of water out there. Yes. Oh, that's cool. That is cool, right? Isn't that the coolest thing? Now, we do need to have a bit of our crashing, splashing spray on some of these guys. This one, maybe not so much, but maybe down there where it finally hit the water, right? Or hit the ground and exploded into all these little splashers out there. Right? Now, we only put them out there so we can come back and mix it. Don't just leave it out there looking like a bunch of bushes and stuff. We gotta mix it down and leave a small little dark separation in between our waves and our crashing water. If you can't get it there with the brush, get up there with your knife, fill in a couple little spots, but leave it small. Leave it small, okay? Don't need it to be humongous out there. Little things, little bits, little guys, little doers, little heres, little theres. There, need one extra bit of bright in that one spot, which is irritating me. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get just a touch of my white right up here on the top of my wave. And just to highlight where our light is coming from on that moon. You don't even need it to drag over much at all. Just a little bit, right? It's like a bink right on the top side of that water. You don't want to drag it too far down. We want to have some areas, so just leave it just like that, guys. Literally coming in like this. Very light, very light. The smallest amount of paint, because we know we can take it away. We can't take it away once we add it up there, right? Little bits. Little guys, little highlights, little highlights. Put on too many, especially on that further away wave, it's gonna look way too big. Just saying, bro, just saying. That's this guy down there. Just like that. Oh, he's amazing. Who's this Paint with Josh guy? He's amazing. Just one little drag with my corner of my knife. Mac, you'll have to check out those details in person because that is awesome. Just plain awesome. Our couple little diamonds to drag up into the eye of the wave. Yeah! Okay, now let's come in. We need a little bit more of our titanium white, small amount. A lot more of our liquid white than titanium amount. So if you're judging off of like ratios, it's probably 70% liquid white and 30% of the titanium white. So it stays very runny and liquidy. Then I'm gonna start out here. I wanna work myself down over here, right? If I'm starting here to here, we're gonna make a big triangle of darkness. We come out there like that and just don't pick the knife up. Just wiggle it and wiggle it. I said don't pick it up, Josh. But there's a piece of skin in mine, Josh. Not fair. So I'm gonna go reload my brush. We're not gonna pick up the knife. Just by shaking it back and forth by like 1.5 inches, right? That's going to make all of our paint out there come off with a little ridge at the end. See that little ridge all the way right there? Unless you don't have enough on your brush to make the ridge. Boop, just like that, okay? Now, I want to place a little bit of paint up in here as well, because we're going to need to drag it with our fan brush, right? So with a clean, dry brush, you can start down here. Be very flat, very, very, very flat. Sometimes it takes more pressure to push on it and push a little harder with that pressure, right? Push it on a little bit harder, you can drag it a little bit further. All we're trying to do is leave the front edge kind of unspoiled. Just like that. Drag it over. Little bits, little things, little bits. Right? Now, if you're dragging it and it's not picking up enough, that's okay. It's all up to you what you want it to look like. But if you want it to be a little bit brighter, Put a little bit of that liquid white paint onto the fan brush, and then continue from our edge, so I'm dragging it, and then we're gonna come up here. That's what all that stuff was. Okay. All that excess paint up there, and now you got this sandy little like, as it's gone up and then pulled itself back. Woo! Woo! Sugars! Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I need to fix one little spot I can see. Right in there. Remember, the front is where it's got to be the brightest, and then it can fade away. Fade away into nothingness. Flowing up the edge of our wave. Out here it's a little bit flatter, right? This side we're doing more of an angle because our wave is right there, kind of coming down, right? Mac, you got a good one, dude. Woo! Woo! You got a good one, my guy. Again, dropping it. Just trying to leave that little ridge out there is all. We don't need it to be too thick or too crazy, but we do have to have it out there. Now let's get one more little thing. We're gonna pipe in some stars, and we're gonna throw in a couple little sprays onto our water and everything else, right? Like back here, maybe we had a couple guys right there in the front. And see how we didn't do this all the way, right? Because this hasn't hit yet, but maybe it's dropped off a couple bits. And then down here, it's hit a little bit more, so we can pop off some more bits off of this guy. A couple little things coming out of the barrel. Maybe with the smallest amount of paint, we can just do one or two little things that are about to come down, right? Now, this one doesn't have a whole lot of sky that is available for stars, except up there in the top right-hand corner. So, we're gonna decide how many stars. I gotta jump in. Oh, that was good. I'm gonna pipe some in back there. And then maybe we need one more bit. I'm gonna start down on my water so I drop off the stars and I don't have them all. Now we got a couple in between those clouds, up there, maybe over there, maybe back into our sky on this side. And we got a really cool painting, you guys. Really cool. And it's a 24 by 30, man. I messed up on the measurements. But look at that, guys. Yeah! Isn't that amazing? Quite honestly, drop this guy down a little bit more too. Quite honestly amazing. More we go. More times we can do something different. Pop it out, have a weird little projection, some sort of something coming down. Because we are in control, my friends. We get to decide. Now, you can absolutely very easily ruin the painting by adding too many things, right? The dreaming Mac. Just because the canvas is big doesn't mean we got to take up every bit of canvas on the back with the name. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Just changing the angle down a little. A little more down. There we go. A little more down. There it is. I like that better. Guys. Turned out so awesomely. Drag down even more. Even more and even more into the abyss. Go over it a couple times just to make it not so bright. And you guys, if that's not a painting and a half. It's a whole painting and one half. So, Mac's already come up with a title with it. I said I was going to flick a couple of these little guys down into our sand as well. All right, the sandy area is sort of lit up. It's a little purple. It's not just straight black. But if we just toss in a couple little flicks, they'll be like little seashells. You can also do it back here. It'll be like little glare of stars on your water, or little specks of something happening back in here. It makes them look really, really cool. So in just 1 hour exactly, you've painted the most amazing painting you've ever done in your life. All thanks to Paint with Josh. You're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome. All are welcome. Okay. Let me finish cleaning off some of these brushes. And then we'll spin it around. We'll put the name on the back. And Mac will get his painting over into the dry room. Get drying, and we'll be ready to go, guys. There we go. Alright. So, if you guys don't know, over on Instagram, we're doing this all the time. We always stream to TikTok. And I'm going to start streaming more paintings to my YouTube channel. I usually only stream to YouTube on on Fridays and Mondays. But now we're going to be streaming every painting that we ever do. We'll have a live tutorial of it on YouTube because I get asked so often, and I've only painted it on TikTok, or I didn't paint it on video at all. And everyone asks, hey, how do you have a tutorial for that? I will now, because I'm going to paint every single paint, which means by the end of the year, there'll be 500 new videos to go along with the 2,300 videos I already have over on my YouTube page. So, are you guys excited about that? Do you think I should stream less to YouTube? Tell me your thoughts, because, like I said, I get the questions all the time. They're like, hey, do you have this video as like a full tutorial? And I'm like, no, I didn't, because it was only on TikTok, and then I didn't put it up on YouTube. So now, I'm going to have every video, starting in 2025, right here. Every video that we ever do, every painting that I ever do, we'll have a video for it. It's going to be a live video, an unedited live video, but it will still be a video for every single painting. So I hope you guys over on YouTube appreciate that. I hope everyone else appreciates that. Because it's not the easiest thing to stream to multiple platforms and do all this stuff all at the same time, you know what I mean? You guys already know, man. You already done did know. Okay. Yeah! Finally, got all the brushes cleaned up. We'll get up here and take out the old screwery. Just like that. Oh, you know what? I got brand new spanking. Just new spanking markers in here. So we're going to use a brand new one to sign Max painting. Woo, baby. Okay, take this guy out, down around there. As you can see, we do legit real canvases over here, not prints. I mean, I do prints, but you're not, if you buy it, you don't get a print, you get the actual one. So, oh, that marker is so nice. You don't realize how sharp of a tip that they actually come with by the time you wear it down. You know what I mean? This one's number 1658. The year that Paint with Josh felt great. I don't know. What's the title again? Some enormously long title. The Dreaming Peak of Critical Waters. All right. I like that. The Dreaming Peak of Critical Waters. Awesome. 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 Painted on 1/16 of 2024. We're all going to go to Paint with Josh. Hang on. Zip. There we go. paintwithjosh.com to find more paintings, to find merch items, and all sorts of stuff over there on paintwithjosh.com. Now, yeah! You've been amazing! Such an audience. I love yous all, right? But I do have to end the show at some point, right? Gotta get out of here at some point in time. Now, ooh, Mac, that'd be really cool if we did them in black. Okay. I'm gonna take our liner brush, now that the painting has a title, and it has an owner, and it has some birds. We're going to take our liner brush into our plaque mix and then right up here into the bright spot of our clouds so they stand out. And just go caw, flying through the painting. Oh, I love it. All right, one more bit. One more thing. Just right down. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'll do it on this side too. Right down here into the, no, we're going to go into the sandiness. Just like that, you guys. Boom, boom. This script liner, you could write some script with the old Paint with Josh script liner brush. So, what do you guys think? Did you think it would turn out like this earlier when you were watching and you were like, oh man, like what is this guy doing? This guy's on another planet, right? Did you think at any moment that you would come back and it would look like this. Pop in a couple little bits of our uber brightness off of our brush. Put it down, pull it down, get it out of there. Wherever we want it to be. Couple little pops of bright in the night is all you gotta have. Now, what if we took just a little touch of our dark separator and underneath some of these areas, I'm talking about the smallest little dark line you can get. It just helps raise your level of your sand. And if you were kind of moving your water and you covered over your dark separator, this is a good way to put it back in. Just gives you that lift. The water just got a little lift just from having a little shadow underneath it. A little pink. Just a little boop, a little wherever. Here, there, one little pink. And that's it. Underneath, just tapping as we go down. Creating little bits of a darkness that gives our wave just a little lift. Just a little facelift out there. Isn't that cool? A little boop, a little bink, a little hey now. A little hey. What's up, everybody? Okay, so you guys, I need to get this and this, and rip it up, and then come in here and clean up this giant mess we created for today's painting. Woo! So remember, follow me over on Clapper. I was gonna say Crumble or Crackle. That's the TV streaming thing. But follow me, and if TikTok goes away, we're gonna be doing it the same thing every day, just on another platform. And that's gonna be that, you guys. So, yeah! This one just turned out fantastic! Mac! I love it. I hope you love it. Really, I gotta make it perfect for old Mackie boy. For old Mac Daniel over there. He had a farm. Oh, that was McDonald. Never mind. Different Mac of a Donald had a farm. Hey, you guys! Okay. All right, I love you guys over on, where are we streaming to? Instagram and on YouTube. You guys have been amazing. I do love you so much. I can't wait to come back and do many more shows. And you can find more content and more full-length tutorials right here on my YouTube channel. Don't even have to go very far. They're in the videos section or they're in the live section where this one would be. So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day and blah, pow, boom. You guys, I like it. I like it. No, and a fair amount of people watch over on the Instagram, so that was cool. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate you guys, all you guys over there on YouTube for watching. You've just been amazing, and I just love you so much. We'll be back tomorrow.